Today is May 10th and it is currently 1:35 in the afternoon, and I decided that I am doing a lot of writing today. I decided to use today as a writing day for myself, a personal day, because the last couple of weeks for me, as you guys may see from the reading vlogs I've done over the last couple of weeks, have been kind of stressful. Even though I'm on summer vacation, I basically still have a lot of stuff to do. Mostly it's just like making sure I have time to spend with Robert and my family and stuff like that. But I've been running so ragged the last couple of days with all this stuff going on and things just kind of popping up out of nowhere that I decided I needed a day to myself. And so today I am going to actually write. As you guys know, if you watched my last reading vlog for April, basically, I took my fourth chapter of Like Father, Like Son in for a workshop, and I got a lot of great comments from my peers about what to do, especially those that had read the first three chapters before or decided to read the first three chapters as supplemental work before reading the fourth one. I had so many great comments from people about the piece, and I'm really excited to keep working on it. So the plan for today is to actually go back through chapters 1 through 4 and adding in some stuff that I think a lot of people had suggested, because there's a character that comes in chapter 4 that kind of was plopped in there that a lot of people thought could have been maybe hinted at earlier, and I'm going to basically try to find a way in the first chapter to implement him earlier, because the first and fourth chapter are both from my main protagonist's perspective, it's only one person, and the second and third chapter are from two other main characters' perspectives, basically. And so I wanted to see if there's a way to kind of implement him this other character a little earlier. He's a secondary character, but is really important within this book because he really helps to establish kind of who Mara is and what she was in the past, and is a really good support character for her because he's been with her for a very long time. Like, they're basically childhood friends, and they've been through some shit together, basically, is the point of this character. And basically, he's her confidant. He's the only person that she thinks really understands her because of what they both have been through. Basically, they both came from a very similar situation and met through essentially group therapy for it, and so they've really grown up together, and he kind of was drawn to her because of some unknown reason. He doesn't really know why. And so within that fourth chapter too, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done trimming wise, and maybe even some extension. There's basically needs to be a little bit of work done within that chapter to kind of really establish their relationship a little bit clearer. There's actually some things I need to do to kind of like cut some things in that chapter. Like, there's just a lot that needs to be done within the chapter itself. So, but basically then with the other two chapters that are from two different characters' perspectives, I just want to go through and make sure things are super clear within them and making sure that everything is the way I want it to be for those two chapters before I eventually take the whole book and send it off to my friend to have her read, my critique partner, Teresa. I've talked about her a couple of times. She's a really great writer. She really knows how I write and loves how I write, and I trust her opinion the most out of anybody's because I know that if something is not clear to her, it's not going to be clear to another audience member. So I really trust her opinion more than anything, and she trusts my opinion as well. So we decided to become critique partners together after having worked together in several different classes for different things within fiction writing and poetry and things like that. So I don't know, she's just someone I really trust, and I do plan on hopefully making this available for beta readers. Basically what I'm planning on doing is after it goes through her, I'm going to I go through her edits, I'm going to open it up to beta readers. This is not gonna happen for quite a long time, so don't get your hopes up at the moment. But basically, after everything is done and it's gone through her, I'm gonna open it up to beta readers, and then after I get comments from beta readers, I'm gonna re-edit it again and send it back off to her, and then once she's done with it again, I will hopefully find a literary agent to hopefully get it published. Now, I don't know when all of this is going to happen. This is all just future planning for this book. I have no idea when it's going to happen, if it's going to happen by the end of the year or if it's going to happen within the next 5 years or 10 years. But that's kind of the idea of how I want this process to go, is once the final draft, the first draft is done, sending it off to her, revising it, sending it off to beta readers, revising it, sending it back off to her. Then it should be pretty much done to the point where I'm comfortable with sending it off to a literary agent and then going through the final processes of getting it published, hopefully, by go through copy edits and line edits with publishers and things like that. Now, it's my hope that it gets to that point, but there is always the possibility for road bumps, like things like, like literary agents not wanting to take me or publishers not wanting to take the piece itself. It's very possible I could go through a J.K. Rowling scenario where I get denied by 13 publishers before I'm finally picked up. And I'm expectant of that. I know that that's what's going to happen. So I know that I'm going to be setting myself up for rejection. But that's the life of a writer. That is the life of a person who puts all their love and talent into something like writing. There are so many authors out there who never got their books published that are still great writers, but they for some reason never got their work published, and so they kind of hid stuff from the world. And there are authors who've been denied so many times before actually getting their pieces, published, just like J.K. Rowling with the Harry Potter series. So many of my favorite contemporary authors are contemporary, meaning like modern authors, not like contemporary genre. They've been denied so many times for their pieces, and finally someone just decided, hey, you know what? I'm willing to put myself into this piece. I'm willing to let this piece be brought to fruition. We'll work on it. So who knows when this is going to actually happen, but my goal is that by the end of the year, at least by the end of 2018, I will have the first full draft done. Now, that's the goal, but there's always the possibility that things are going to come up. I have my last semester coming up in the fall with college, and with that, I'm going to be applying to jobs like crazy within publishing companies, and I have to really focus a lot of my time on that. So it is possible that this book could go on the back burner for a little while because of that. And it's done that actually multiple times throughout my college career. It's been placed in the back burner, but I'm glad with the progress I made with it so far to where I'm excited to continue with it. So long intro over to this writing vlog, but basically that's my plan for this. And so I'm hoping that with this writing vlog, basically I'm going to take days within the month to film for you guys. So that's my plan. But yeah, so other than that, I'm going to get started on working on this on these chapters, and I hope you guys enjoy what I have to offer. I don't know how many days I'm going to take to do this, but since this is a fairly big day of writing for me, I'm going to use it to my advantage and make a vlog out of it. So there you go. So anyway, I'm going to get started, and I hope you guys enjoy. is now May 16th, currently 2:04 in the afternoon, and so today what I'm working on for the novel is I'm actually reading through everything that I've written so far. Typically what my writing process is then when I go through chapters I've already kind of got the bare bones for, which is right now I'm going to be working today with chapters 5 and 6. I like to go through what I've gone through so far, like what I've written so far, and make sure everything is clear and there's nothing like glaring that I'm missing that I want to make sure I add in. And that way I make sure that everything is in where it needs to be, or I fix some lines and stuff like that, or I basically just edit as I go. Like I edit each chapter as I go before starting the next one. So today what I'm doing is I'm going to be doing that for chapters 1 through 4. Then I'm going to sit and edit a video that I need to get out today, and then I'm going to go through chapters 5 and 6, and mostly just adding stuff into them or stuff like that, because they've got the bare bones in them, but I think that there needs to be a little bit more fleshed out within them. Like I know for a fact chapter 6 needs a scene to be massively extended because it's a very, very short chapter, and I don't like how short the scene itself is, because it's very important for Alan, who is that's the perspective I have for him, is Alan, and I really need to make sure that scene is extended for it. Really chapter 5 is mostly, it's Olivia's perspective, and Olivia's perspective chapters are really short because there's not a lot that is to be discussed, but this next chapter in her perspective does really kind of set itself up for what she is to be doing throughout this story. So that one might be a little bit longer than the first perspective chapter we got from her. So it's a lot of just finagling. So those 2 chapters I'm going to focus on today, and I'm going to try to get them done because tomorrow I'm going to go pick up my grandma from the airport with my dad and my mom, because she is coming in for my sister's commencement and open house that is on Sunday. So I'm really trying to get as much work done as I can so that I don't have a lot to do while she is here, because I kind of find it rude that I'm doing stuff while she's here when I could be spending time with her. But I do have some videos that are going to be coming out with like recording and stuff that during the week. It's not like massive amounts though, but I'm going to try to at least record my tag videos and my top 5 Wednesday videos and stuff like that as I go. But again, it's all going to be tentative on how things go with the week, so I may even get some writing time. I don't know. We'll have to see, but I am going to focus on this right now. I'm going to quickly go through and edit those pieces and those pieces of the chapters, and then I will talk to all of you guys once I am done, so I'll see you then. So that's going to be enough writing for me today. I did end up finishing chapters 5 and 6. They actually didn't take as long as I had expected, because I guess the bare bones I had for the majority of both chapters 5 and 6 was pretty much where I wanted it to be. Chapter 5 took a little bit longer than chapter 6 did because there was some details I really needed to implement within that chapter specifically to really kind of give a lot of background as to how the experience for Olivia is within this place that she is kidnapped and with a bunch of other people, because she's kidnapped with a bunch of other women. And so I wanted to really use this chapter to explain kind of a lot of the things that have been going on with her being here, and kind of the process that's been going on for her as far as being in this place, like how she's living, if she's living comfortably, things of that nature. And then chapter 6 was really going back to Alan's perspective, and is a huge point for him because it kind of is the slipping point for him in this story, because this story is really focusing on, you guys might know this idea that this guy is kidnapping all of these women, and eventually he slips up, and kind of that's where the story begins, is him starting to really slip up and Mara starting to be able to find him. And the perspective of Olivia is more so to kind of understand how he is treating other people, which kind of helps to develop his character overall and how he is seen by other people, especially the ones that are being kidnapped by him, and how his treatment of them kind of plays into his character a lot. So she's really just a lot of help for me in terms of establishing a lot about Alan, whereas Alan is very kind of bare bones. He's very much kind of a, not self-centered, but the way that he's written is less of a problematic standpoint for him, because he thinks that what he's doing is actually okay. Like, he doesn't realize what he's doing is wrong, basically. And there's a whole reason for that, and that I'm not going to really go into that right now because that really spoils a lot of the story. But that's kind of the point I'm at, is at this point in the story, he's starting to slip up a little bit more, because he's going after another person, and things from here are going to go really, really south for Alan, and things are going to start ramping up for Mara. So currently, I will pull back the document back up because I accidentally closed out of it. I have 43 pages. I have one last chapter in here that I have written bare bones for, which I'm very excited for, which means that soon I will be getting to writing complete new chapters that I have never written before. This is the furthest I've gotten in like 3 years worth of working on this. So that's really freaking amazing. So with all the chapters I've gone through so far, and edited and looked through and rewritten and stuff like that, I am up to 38 pages. So I have 38 pages done out of 44 that is actually in this document. So I have 6 more pages to go through to either add or edit and stuff like that with chapter 7. And currently the word count is at 14,552 words. And I'm so happy with that. I'm currently I'm not even a third of the way through the book, honestly. Let me tell you guys how many chapters I plan this book to be. If I'm at chapter 7 now and I'm at 38 pages for this book, I think that's a pretty good amount. I know that it's fairly short, you know, for that many chapters to have that small amount of pages, but keep in mind that, you know, in actuality, this could end up becoming a bigger book based on print and font size and stuff like that. But the amount of chapters I plan to have for this novel is 40. So I plan to have 40 chapters. So that means that I am almost 20% of the way through this book, which is really, really good. Like, I'm almost 20% of the way through this book, and I already have 44 pages. So I think that with at least the first draft, I'm going to have about maybe 150, 200 pages, and that's the hope at least, but it's entirely possible that could be more as I get through more of the story and I start really fleshing out a lot of the newer chapters, because really what I'm doing now is basically going back through the chapters I'd already written and editing them and, you know, making them super clear. And so chapter 7 is going to be very much like that, where I think that mostly what I'm doing is trying to fix it up by, I think in my notes I had it where I wanted to just really flesh out the scene that is with Mara, because this is where she starts to interview a student or a child that is the first person that gives them a description of what this suspect looks like, of what Alan looks like. And so this is a really important scene. So this whole chapter is more than likely going to be extended by at least a couple pages, maybe, I don't know, because there's so much that needs to be involved in terms of making sure this character is super well fleshed out and things like that. And I just realized something. I just had dates jump from the last chapter to from chapter 6 to chapter 7. Ooh, that's not good. Okay, I need to fix that. But anyway, so far so good. Progress is going well, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to try to work some more on this book as much as I can this month. But like I said, tomorrow I'm going to pick up my grandmother from the airport, so it's going to be a little difficult for me to write much within the next week because I found out she's not leaving until Saturday, so next Saturday. So I'm going to have her for over a week. So I don't know how much time I'm going to spend writing because I want to spend time with her. But if I get the chance to, obviously I will write as much as I can. And I will update you guys as I can. But I don't know when I'm going to film for this vlog again. So you'll just have to wait on that. Or at least, you know, I'll have put in something after this clip. But anyway, you know what I mean. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with the book. It's starting to come along pretty well, I think. I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out so far, and it's definitely not a perfect first draft. There is no possible way this is going to be a perfect first draft. Basically, once I get done with this, like the entire thing, I'm sending it off to somebody to look at, whether it's my friend Teresa or somebody that I trust to read it and things like that, and then it's going to go back through revisions, and then it's going to go through beta readers, and then it's going to go through revisions again, and then it will, that basically after the second revisions, I will find a literary agent. That's kind of the process I've decided to go with. That is at least if I can afford a literary agent by that point. So we shall see. But I am very excited to see where this goes. I'm very, very excited to see where it goes. And I love that I'm not on a deadline because this means I can make sure that it is absolutely perfect to my standards before I send it off to somebody, and then I can have somebody else tear it apart and tell me what I need to do that's wrong and I need to fix. So that's good. So anyway, I will talk to all of you guys later when I get another chance to sit and write some more.